I remember when I was a little girl growing up and all the things I would dream I would be someday. Okay, Dave, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I want to be a cowboy because I like riding horses.
Okay, I wanted to be a ballerina because I love to dance and something about center stage and pretty costumes.
That hasn't changed. but I grew from there because I wanted to be a hero. I wanted to do the Zorro thing with the mask and the cape and the sword.
Okay, the next thing I wanted to be was kind of a hero, but a hero in the classroom. I wanted to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And I wish I could tell you it was because I wanted to make a difference in children's lives. But really, it was I wanted to write on the chalkboard. I thought there was like you had power if you held the piece of chalk.
Yeah, she still plays the power game often.
My goodness, you're starting nice, aren't you?
But here's the truth. I'm over 50 now, and I want you to know that I actually still dream about being a hero. In my dreams still.
Okay, well, you should have been in a few of my dreams saving me because I dream I fall off buildings and like I'm free falling. But the cool thing is I always wake up before I die.
Well, that's a good thing, all right? Most of the time I feel that. Anyway, here's the deal. I want you to know we have these childhood dreams about what we're going to be when we grow up, but sometimes we get into those early 20s and things start to change. Like maybe we can't have those dreams, so we start actually compromising a bit and trying something less risky so we don't fail, right?
Okay, I think that's sad. And I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to who just wanted to be successful. And they're like 8 years into a job going, I don't even like what I'm doing.
It's brutal, yeah.
Or people who said, I just want to be happy, and they're in the middle of a relationship going, this is not how I imagined it was going to be.
Wow, it's a dead-end street. It's interesting because we see it a lot in some of the Hollywood icons. You know, they got
like,
all
what do you mean?
Well, the success, the fame, the fortune, all the money, right? But they have to get uppers to get them going in the morning, and sadly, the addictions push them to have downers at night. And there's a lot of pressures in the world, and sadly, we have these amazing, difficult, tragic deaths, like even Heath Ledger. You know, I mean, what was going on there?
Okay, or I'm thinking of Anna Nicole Smith.
Yeah.
And what I wonder is, how do we go from being these little kids with these giant dreams to being adults just disappointed and disillusioned with life?
Now listen to me. What are you doing with your brokenness? What are you doing with your dreams? How's it affecting your relationship?
Okay, I wonder if we had Anna Nicole or Heath with us right now and we asked them why. What was it that was missing?
And you've heard it before. That's the boulevard of broken dreams. Stay with us because we're going to talk about what these soul cravings are all about. We talk about a lot of things, all right? So you'll love this guy. Would you welcome to Marriage and Sense with Dave and Christie, Erwin McManus. Come on, Erwin.
My goodness, wow.
You got it. Welcome, man. Okay. So I get this book, right? This book says Soul Cravings, right? I don't know if I should have pizza and burp, you know? I don't know if it's like maybe about sex, about money. Cravings.
You seem to be really focused on sex. Are you all talk? And, or is there any action? I'm just kind of curious.
This is
His
good.
wife is out of town,
My wife ran away because you were going to say that. Thanks a lot. Okay, no pressure.
I heard you took a really cheap ticket to the United States. Yeah. Anything to get away. Okay, no, that's all right.
Let's get going on this, though. What are these cravings? You read this book. What's the deal?
What I loved about it is that it was universal. These are things that I don't care where you're born. I don't care what you do in life. You're talking about stuff that all of us, it resonates with us. Like the first one was intimacy and the fact that everybody wants to be loved.
Right. Yeah, really the book is about a human conversation. You know, for a long time people tried to understand what motivates us, what makes us do what we do. Right. And I think the more we understand what moves us, what motivates us, what fuels us, the better we can make the kind of decisions that give us a healthier life, that allow us to create the kind of future that we want to live. And,
do you think most people recognize that, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, you say it, and I think people go, that makes sense. But do you think people are walking around going, if I just knew what motivated me?
Now, I think a lot of people are like pregnant women. You know, you just wake up and go, I need asparagus with chocolate covered with ice cream and peanut butter. Get it now. And
as I'm throwing up.
That's right. Now. Right? And you don't realize what's going on here is that your body has certain needs. It needs certain vitamins and nutrients. And so as this life is forming inside of you, it's screaming out through cravings what it needs to feed this life. Right. And I think that's what happens with us in terms of our own intrinsic needs.
Yes.
There are things that we need as human beings that sometimes we don't understand what's going on. And so I don't think we get it that when we're little that what we need is to be loved, that this is what's driving us, that when we feel disconnected, when we feel abandoned, that we will do almost anything for attention, for acceptance, to be loved.
I was just going to say.
But it drives us, it moves us.
I was going to say, but when we don't have it, we do start recognizing there's something going on. Because when I didn't feel loved as a little girl, then that's when I'm out searching for what is going to make me feel loved.
That's right, but we don't always connect the dots. We're not sitting there going, I'm sleeping around with all these guys because my dad never loved me, he wasn't there for me. We don't connect those dots.
Right.
We just know there's something inside of us that's gnawing on us, something that we long for, and it drives us to certain activities, even if that particular activity doesn't meet our needs.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. I see this recently. I happened to be witness to a memorial of a teenager that died at 17, an overdose. And there was half the crowd were teenagers. And it was said at that time, it was said, you need answers because you just lost one of your good friends. But you see, right now, they're looking for answers because the stress of life pushes them to say, what is this about? Why did my friend have to die at this? Like what am I here for? And those questions come when the pressures come, right?
Yeah, I just think that when we say we need the answers, a lot of times it sounds like it's a fill in the blank. And what people really aren't looking for are answers. What they're looking for is life. And they're trying to find that which meets the deepest longings inside of them. So, you know, with love, I mean, how do you describe when you love someone? You don't really know when you're in love with someone. I mean, why did you choose this person and not this person? If you had to fill out a qualifying description of why you love your wife, you really couldn't do it.
Oh, he would try. And it would be about 47 pages long with sub points.
Figured out.
No, I tried it one time. My wife asked me, honey, why do you love me? And I said, no good reason.
And you are still married?
You know, she was a great human being.
She is an amazing human being and forgiving.
And she said, you mean there's no reason to love me? I said, no, what I meant was that I don't love you for a reason. I love you because it's impossible for me not to love you.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay. He's worked that line. Hey, no good reason.
No, because when you have a reason, when you say, well, you know, it's because, well, you're so beautiful. Well, we all get older and we get less beautiful.
Exactly.
And not you. I'm just saying, but Dave.
Oh, you are scoring so many bonus puns.
I'm owning that. But you know, you go on in your book to talk about this destiny. We're going to talk about that in the second segment. But what about meaning? People are looking for meaning. It's just like that intimacy. You know, how do you explain the meaning part?
Yeah, if I could even step back, like if you think about Freud, who is pretty popular and people kind of have a sense of who he is. He understood human motivation to be all about pleasure. It's our sexual drive. Although he changed his mind near the end of his life. He wrote a book called Civilization and Its Discontents, and he talked about aggression being the driving principle of humanity.
Really?
And a lot of people don't really know that because they don't read what he wrote. But he was trying to figure out what drives human beings. And so in Soul Cravings, to talk about 3 intrinsic cravings that every human being has. One is this intrinsic need for intimacy, that we all need to connect, we all need relationships, we all need bonding, we all need to belong, we all need love.
Yes.
But we also have this intrinsic need for meaning, to make sense of life. And when we look at it, we are meaning machines, we human beings.
Yeah.
You know, we're constantly creating meaning. In fact, right now, we're just making sounds, but those sounds are translated by our really complex brains into meaning.
Yes.
But if I switch, I say, 안녕하세요, 이름은 Erwin McManus, and I talk to you in Korean, if you don't speak Korean, that's just noise.
Good.
Exactly. And I'll tell you what, I was talking about connecting dots and trying to discern noises. As a young girl, I still remember a dream I had over and over and over, and it was trying to make sense of life and meaning. And I actually saw Earth from the side, and there was a grave dug out at the top, and there were bones laying in it. And in my dream, I knew those were my bones. And men and women were jumping out of the grave, all ages, sizes, and running around, and then turning into bones and falling back into this grave. And that is all I dreamt all night long. And I would wake up exhausted. And when I hear you talk, I'm thinking I was a little girl already trying to understand what dot goes to what dot in life so that it would actually make sense. Stay with us because everybody wants to understand, do I have any kind of a destiny?